To use the SDK for Uniswap and add liquidity, you first need to understand what Uniswap is and the role of the SDK. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange protocol that enables the swapping of tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. The SDK, or Software Development Kit, provides a set of tools and libraries that developers can use to interact with the Uniswap protocol. The first step in using the Uniswap SDK to add liquidity is to install the Uniswap SDK library in your project. This can be done using npm or yarn by running the command to install the Uniswap SDK package. Once installed, you need to import the Uniswap SDK library in your code and set up a provider to connect to the Ethereum blockchain. Next, you need to create a wallet and get the account address to use with the Uniswap SDK. You can use a library like Ethers.js to create a wallet and get the account address. After setting up the wallet, you need to get the token addresses for the tokens you want to add liquidity for. You can get these addresses from the Uniswap documentation or by querying the Uniswap protocol. Once you have the token addresses, you can use the Uniswap SDK to get the liquidity pool data for the token pair you want to add liquidity to. This data includes the reserve amounts, the liquidity token address, and other relevant information. With this data, you can calculate the optimal amount of liquidity to add and the amount of tokens to deposit. To add liquidity, you need to create a transaction and sign it with your wallet. The Uniswap SDK provides a function to create the transaction data for adding liquidity, which you can then send to the Ethereum blockchain using a provider like Ethers.js. After sending the transaction, you can verify that the liquidity has been added successfully by checking the liquidity pool data. Again, best practices for using the Uniswap SDK to add liquidity include ensuring you have sufficient gas to cover the transaction costs, handling errors and exceptions properly, and keeping your wallet and account information secure. Additionally, you should always test your code in a development environment before deploying it to production. By following these steps and using the Uniswap SDK, you can easily add liquidity to Uniswap and start providing liquidity to the protocol. This can help you earn trading fees and contribute to the growth of the decentralized finance ecosystem.